I don't really know what my philosophy of servant leadership, and she just like helped me to take the tools of what I had and combine them with the ideas of what we learned from Greenleaf's textbook and what we learned throughout the class with other activities and experiential learning. And servant leadership to me is not going into anything you do and saying, I'm here to help you. Not saying, I'm coming to this interview to help you with your grad school project. It's going into somewhere and building community in a positive way. And I think that's leadership. And a lot of people get it confused and say, you know, oh, well, a leader, I have to lead this group of people. I have to lead this mission. And it's completely opposite for me. Like, I don't want to be specific to my leadership personality. I'm not going to go in and lead a huge group. I'm going to stay like in the middle and try and build community and gain from what I'm doing and gain as much as I'm giving to whatever I'm giving. I think it's more like servant. And I don't like the word servant because that's like, here, let me serve you. But it's really community based and knowing how to go about doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Gotcha. Let's see. So you talked a little bit about this, but if you could kind of expand on an experience or experiences in the program that have been really impactful in your life, whether personally or professionally.
Interview day is one that I think was the most impactful. I walked away from interview day and I downloaded a news app on my phone a week before and was like, if they ask me about any like up-to-date issues, I'm ready. And that wasn't me, and I think my interviewers could tell that none of them asked me about current issues, because I could talk about myself for a very long time. You know, but the interview day, I walked out of interview day and I called my mother and I said, Mom, even if I don't get it, I was completely authentic and I've done more self-development in sitting down and talking about myself than I ever have. And it was really weird for me to be, 18 and talking about myself in such a deep, retrospective way. So that, first off, that's it. The Open Door Clinic, volunteering with the Open Door Clinic and making connections with the volunteer coordinator and the doctor there, I think not only helped me, I was very comfortable at the Open Door Clinic because it's the low income side, and I come from a very low income background, and so I felt at home there. Mm-hmm. And then gaining from the comfortable setting, I also got that professional experience and was allowed to shadow the doctor there and was allowed to see how unfair the healthcare system was on a very personal level, where I think that they opened up more to me because I was a Caldwell Fellow than if I was to come in as a different student, because of the relationship that had been established there for so long. The Center for Creative Leadership, that really taught me a lot about myself and how it was nice coming from, they wait till you're a junior or senior to do that, and coming from the sophomore seminar and saying, oh yeah, I got it figured out, I know who I am. Like, I can go change the world now. And going to the Center for Creative Leadership and then looking at yourself again and saying, and it's ever changing, I still can't be a perfect person, what's new? But it was just a really very meticulous way of learning how to be an effective leader from an outside source, and working with so many professional, well-established people was really impactful as well. I also traveled to Mexico for spring break and stayed in Puebla, and worked with a university in Puebla, and then worked at a primary school in a dusty town, Atencingo. and I'd never been out of the country besides a military base, so that was interesting. And I don't speak Spanish, so being able to study abroad or to go abroad is very important for somebody, in college. But I think on top of that was going to study abroad with my Caldwell family, and then every day, at the end of the day, come in and like do some reflection about what's going on. Mm-hmm. That was really essential to getting something out of that trip, rather than going and serving the school for 2 days and then leaving. Figuring out how we could go and make an impact without, going and taking some pictures with some foreign kids and putting it as a profile picture.
Yeah.
That was really impactful. The seminar was excellent. My life coach, I had never sat down with a professional person, and it was almost like a psychiatrist, but it wasn't. But sat down in a professional setting and talked about my feelings and my passions and who I was, and had someone who really genuinely cared about me and was only there for me and wanted me to be a better person. I think a lot of people in the program growing up didn't have an opportunity to talk to anyone like that, mm-hmm. really, depending on the settings that you were raised in. So that was really essential to my growth in the program. And then just like getting together with these people, whether it's going out for a drink, mm-hmm. On a Friday night, or at the dinners, I think, just the conversations that we have are extremely impactful in developing me as a person while I'm in college, and to continue. Mm-hmm. Also, the alumni. The alumni are so involved in the program, and I know so many people who are outside of anywhere near where I have seen people through the program. So much older people who just are passionate and thankful for the impact that the program has been to them, and really show it by giving back and saying, well, this is what happens after you leave. Like, this is, it's gonna get even harder, and the world's even worse. But I think that's an essential part of the program too, is how many people come back, and it shows you like, okay, this is gonna be a part of my life for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering, so you talk a lot about these like deep conversations and meaningful experiences with your fellow Caldwells. Like, what are some examples from your own personal life, if you feel comfortable sharing this, of ways that they have encouraged you through these conversations, or examples of what you go to them with and how they support you?
Mm-hmm. I have a little sister that I'm very nervous about. She's 13, and I get extremely nervous about her because I was a very wild child. And so I'm also a bit of a controlling person. So I approached her, I approached her in a way that I thought would help her. And through talking with some of the other Caldwell fellows, I was talking, like, I don't know how to approach her without being so controlling, and we were talking, and I was like, have you ever just went to her and said, hey, you're gonna mess up, and that's okay, I love you? And I just burst into tears, and I was like, no, I haven't, I don't know why. And another experience is like talking about things like flaws about myself with other people, and then them saying, where do you think that comes from? Like, do you think, like, if you don't mind, do you think that comes from another experience that you told me about? And really just like going like deeper within myself, like asking the right questions to get good answers. That's another way. And then the fed up conversations. Like, it sounds like we're all such positive people. But there's been times when we're real, gotten together and you say, my friend who leads a successful nonprofit, a Caldwell Fellow who leads a successful nonprofit here, he came up to me and he's just like, I can't, like, when you put your face on something, I can't you can't do anything bad. Like Alex Parker is the student body president, and it's just like, he can't, you know, mess up. He can't come up to me or to other people during the day and you say, you know, screw this. Like, I am so tired of this. Like, this just, life sucks. I mean, when you put your face on something like that, it's really difficult.